In the cutthroat world of technology, why would a champion ever help its biggest rival get back on its feet? It just doesn't make sense. But today, we're going to unpack a fascinating story of geopolitical chess, a really bizarre strategy that could see the world's #1 chipmaker, TSMC, literally rescue the very company it left in the dust, Intel.
Yeah, that's the central puzzle, right? Why on earth would TSMC, the undisputed king of chip manufacturing, even think about helping Intel, the very rival it dethroned? On the surface, it sounds like a terrible business move, but as you're about to see, the logic behind it is actually kind of brilliant.
So on one side, you got TSMC, this unstoppable force. And on the other, you have Intel, the fading empire that's losing money and falling way behind on the tech. These are our two main players, and they're caught in a situation that seems to break all the normal rules of business.
To really get how weird this all is, we have to take a quick step back and remember just how powerful Intel used to be.
I mean, it really wasn't that long ago that the Intel Inside sticker was on practically every computer on the planet. You remember that, right? It wasn't just a brand, it was a symbol of America's complete and total tech dominance. The undisputed leader.
But, well, the tech world moves incredibly fast. The whole AI and GPU wave, led by companies like NVIDIA, kind of left Intel's CPU-centric world behind. And the result? Oof. Years of painful financial losses, a technology gap that just keeps getting wider, and a crisis so deep that the US government is now looking for ways to step in and lend a helping hand.
Okay, so that's Intel's side. Now let's flip the coin, because this is where it gets really interesting. TSMC's incredible runaway success has actually become its single biggest vulnerability. 66%. Just let that number sink in. That's TSMC's current slice of the global chipmaking pie, and some people think it could hit 75% soon. That is a staggering amount of control over what is basically the most critical resource in the world right now.
And to put that into perspective, I mean, look at this. TSMC isn't just leading, they are absolutely dominating the competition. But here's the thing. When any company gets this powerful, it paints a massive target on its back.
And that target attracts a very powerful enemy, the United States government and its antitrust laws. You see, when one company controls too much of a critical market, regulators get really nervous. And history shows us they are not afraid to step in and do something about it. And believe me, this isn't just a threat. The US has a long history of breaking up companies it sees as too dominant. It happened to US Steel, to Big Oil. They dismantled the Ma Bell telephone monopoly, AT&T, in the 80s. They even went after Microsoft in the 90s. For TSMC, this isn't some dusty history lesson. It's a huge, flashing warning sign.
But here is the most fascinating twist in this whole story. The perfect strategy for TSMC to get out of this jam was actually written years ago. And you'll never guess who wrote the playbook? Intel itself. You see, back when Intel was the top dog, it faced the exact same antitrust threats over its battles with a much smaller rival, AMD. And Intel's strategy at the time was captured in this one simple phrase, Liu Hua Ko. It pretty much translates to let them live.
The logic was just brilliant, deceptively simple. Step 1, you intentionally keep your weaker rival, in their case AMD, alive. You don't crush them, you just make sure they stay weak. Step 2, by making sure a competitor exists, you can tell regulators, hey, how can we be a monopoly? Look, they're right over there. And you avoid getting broken up. It worked like a charm for Intel, and now TSMC is in the perfect spot to use the exact same move.
So this old Intel playbook is now the inspiration for what's being called the enshrinement strategy.
The Chinese term for it is gongfeng, and it kind of means to enshrine or place on a pedestal. The core idea is to prop up your rival, in this case Intel, to make them look like a serious competitor, while you secretly make sure they're never strong enough to actually be a threat. It's a clever bit of corporate theater.
So you're probably wondering, how could TSMC possibly do this without giving away its secret sauce? Well, they'd build a technical firewall. They could help Intel with older, what they call mature, chip processes, like the kind of chips that are vital for cars or military gear, but are generations behind the cutting edge. What they would never do is share their best technology or their know-how on mass production. And maybe most importantly, Any money they put in would be kept below a 50% controlling stake, so Intel always stays an American company.
What you end up with is this really neat division of labor. TSMC gets to stay the undisputed leader in the super advanced high-profit chips, and Intel, it's reborn as a major competitor, but in a totally different sandbox, making older but still critical chips for cars, defense, and the Internet of Things. Intel gets healthy again, but it's no longer playing in the same league as TSMC.
And this is why the whole thing is so much bigger than just a business deal. It's a geopolitical masterstroke. It creates a situation where, amazingly, almost everyone gets what they want.
Just look at this breakdown. It's a true win-win-win. The United States gets to declare victory, they saved a national champion, Intel, and they keep critical chip manufacturing on U.S. soil. What does TSMC get? They neatly sidestep a devastating antitrust fight with their biggest customer, the U.S. And what about Intel? Well, they get a lifeline, a clear path back to making money and securing their future. It's just a really elegant solution to a super messy problem.
And that really brings us to the final question, doesn't it? Is this enshrinement strategy the ultimate masterstroke? A brilliant piece of corporate judo? Or is it an incredibly dangerous high-wire act propping up a sleeping giant that could one day wake up and bite the hand that fed it? That is the billion-dollar question. Thanks for tuning in.